Pick up your gear and open your chests. Throw on your armor and head out on a quest. Hey, hey, it's a brand new day. On the Sword Coast, your allies will help with blazing bows and magic as well. Hey, hey, heroes on their way, fighting forever against overwhelming odds, fighting together in favor of multiple gods. Idle champions of the forgotten realms, idle champions, adventure never ends. Idle champions, hit you while I'm there. Idle champions, you will say it again. Idle champions. From Waterdeep to Icewind, head out the show, all Shadowfell, hey, hey. Together we stay. Walk to the monsters, walk to the boss, walk to the right, it's never a loss, hey, hey. Bad guys to slay, fighting forever against overwhelming odds, fighting together in favor of multiple gods. Idle champions of the forgotten realms, idle champions, adventure never ends. Idle champions, hit you while I'm dead. Idle champions, you will say it again. Idle champions, idle champions, idle champions, idle champions.
Hello, everybody. If you're seeing this, it's probably Saturday. Unless you're watching a VOD. But hopefully then it's Saturday too. Happy Saturday, everybody. Welcome back to Gaarawarr's Guide, the tutorial show. We are here today to do something we've never done before, which is anxiety-inducing. But we're doing it anyway. We're doing it anyway. With me today to help reduce my anxiety and calm my senses, Gabe. Gabe is in the production booth. Gabe will be hanging out and chat with all of you. And also, if as always, if you have questions, down in the white box below, put question colon before, then Gabe. That's Penny Arcade. Gabe will grab them. And add them into this little backstage document so that I don't have anxiety, because when I don't have questions, it's like, oh God, what are we going to talk about? But we're good. Hopefully we'll be good today. So what is it? Some of you are probably like, Gaarawarr, what the hell? What is this? It says Gaarawarr's Guide to Turn of Fortune's Wheel Part 1. What is this? We've never done a guide to a campaign before. And if you'd said, if like a year ago, you'd have been like, "Oh, you're going to do a guide to a campaign. It's going to be a campaign that just came out, and there's only 2 adventures and 2 variants for." I'd have been like, so we're going to do it. But here's the thing: the new campaign is it's different. If you haven't partook yet of the new hotness, maybe you're newer and you haven't quite unlocked it yet, or maybe you're like, I don't know, these others have been pretty hard. I'm a little scared, and there's been a lot of talk on it. I'm leaving it for later. We're gonna hop in today. There will be some spoilers, and there's gonna be the biggest spoiler. We're just going to do the biggest spoiler live. And we're going to talk a lot about... We're going to talk about some tips. It's a thing. We're going to do this. We're gonna do this. All right. I do have some good tips for you. I do have some stuff, and we're gonna do the first adventure live. For those of you who watch me play Idle Shames on my channel, Twitch TV/Gaarawarr, you'd be like, but we did it. You did it live on Wednesday. I did, and we're gonna do it live again. It's magic. So yeah. But hey, to start, to be able to talk about the new campaign, Turn of Fortune's Wheel, we need to talk about all the other campaigns. We need to be able to put things in perspective. Perspective is important. I feel like I talk about perspective a lot. Perspective is important. So let's add some perspective, folks. As you may be aware, Idle Champions has a bunch of campaigns over here on this left. Over on the left in the campaign banner. See where my cursor is? Man, I wish the cursor... Wouldn't it be cool if the cursor was the D&D ampersand? Anyway. Maybe a little bigger. Look. We have a bunch of campaigns. It wasn't always that way. When we started this game, there was a campaign. It was Grand Tour of the Sword Coast. Back in my day. Grand Tour of the Sword Coast is what kind of gets thrown about and referred to as a permanent campaign or an unlimited campaign, because the idea here was always that they would always add more stories over time. Recently, the most recent story was the Vecna story arc down here in Candlekeep, and they haven't added new stuff yet, but you know, there's always the possibility. The point is, there's no finished story arc because it's not based on a campaign book. It's just based off Dungeons and Dragons and things that have happened on the Sword Coast, or not. As you can see, part of this is Barovia. So it's where they can fit in lots of neat stuff, and they've gone back and thrown some cool adventure modules in, and yeah. So this is that campaign, which means its difficulty is mixed. It starts off easy, and then it starts to get harder and harder, and that's because the content, as they added it, arrived as they added these other campaigns. So they were keeping things kind of at the same level. So Sword Coast contains multitudes. Whereas the rest of these campaigns, they are based off specific campaign books that were released. There's D&D currently releases one major campaign book a year, and that campaign ends up in this game. That's how we always know what's the next campaign going to be. We always know. We always know quite a while in advance. We just don't know when it's going to show up and what it's going to look like. So the first one that was added was Tomb of Annihilation. Tomb of Annihilation is, like, I consider there to be tiers of difficulty in the campaigns. Now we finally have more than two. I felt like we had two tiers, like an easy and hard. Now, with Turn of Fortune's Wheel, we have easy, medium, and hard. We can. I will now delineate. People will disagree, but I will delineate that there are 3 tiers of difficulty currently. Again, Sword Coast not really part of it, so we're just going to scroll down. Let's look at they're not temporary campaigns, but they are limited campaigns, because you can complete Tomb of Annihilation. You can't really complete Sword Coast because they could always add more. But Tomb is done. Tomb and Waterdeep Dragon Heist are done, and these are your first tier of difficulty. These are the easy campaigns. Tomb of Annihilation, easiest campaign in the game. And because it's the difficulty of the enemies isn't super hard. It isn't ramped up. Also, the blessings really allow you to snowball and support your success. It's really about, hey, when you're starting off, Tomb is a campaign that exists to support your success, and help you understand what's kind of the various levels of difficulty that you'll face in the future. But it's super easy. Waterdeep Dragonheart is kind of right after that, just a smidge more difficult, but still pretty straightforward. Again, these 2 are completed. And completed means every one of these adventure nodes, all of the storyline adventures are there, and every storyline adventure has 3 variants. That's what a completed campaign looks like. but these are the only two so far in 6 years that have been completed. Which, yeah, that's fitting for D&D, right? How long did your last campaign last? 6 years! Yeah. But then we get into the medium tier, and the medium tier is going to expand into these four. I label it these four. Baldur's Gate, Descent into Avernus, Icewind Dale, Ram of the Frostmaiden, The Wild Beyond the Witchlight, and Light of Xerxes. These are currently what I would put in the medium tier. But even in that tier, the difficulty ramps up. But there is a big jump from Waterdeep Dragon Heist to Baldur's Gate in terms of difficulty. And the main way we see this, and the main way we can know that this is just a vastly new difficulty tier, is in the amount of favor it takes to get blessings. Right? Because, up here, Tomb of Annihilation, Waterdeep, it's pretty easy to earn favor and get blessings. Baldur's Gate, it starts, it's a little harder to earn favor, just a little bit, but the blessings cost way more. In fact, it's the place where we start seeing people talk about, oh my god, I'm earning more favor on my runs, but it's not getting me any further. What's wrong? Because you get so used to favor being what progresses you up here. And this is where you get the rude awakening of, oh, there's other things that you have to advance for power in the game, not just favor. There's Modron cores and patron perks and legendary items, and yeah, this is where it starts to get into the full game. Icewind Dale, a little bit harder. Wild Beyond the Witchlight starts to get harder. Like the area goals go way up. Light of Xerxes looks to be the same, right? So there's there's almost even in the medium difficulty, there's kind of the easiest version and the hardest version. That's playing out. But Turn of Fortune's Wheel earns, for me, the hard difficulty level because, and they said this in the campaign blog, the favor gain here, they didn't say this, but the favor gain here is much harder. What they said in the blog, the release blog, is gold find is significantly reduced. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It is. It is. Gold find is significantly reduced. That doesn't mean that, and the enemies are a little harder, but that part, by the time you get here, you have a lot of power on your account, or you should. And I find that pushing deep wasn't overly difficult. I think I pushed to around 1,300 off of 4,000 favor. So I didn't even have a lot of favor. But here's the thing. At 1,300, I was not soft capped on my champions. I'd earned maybe EO8, EO9 favor on that run. I was still in the E60s, E50s, E60s for favor, for gold. And as hopefully we know, you got to be in the 80s or 90s to soft cap a champion. I was nowhere near it. The gold gain is significantly reduced. So while you can complete your content, I had no problems completing the first two adventures, obviously. But I had no problems pushing deep in them either. What becomes a challenge then is gaining the favor to buy your blessings. That is what makes this kind of puts this into what I refer to as the hard difficulty tier. Because if you're thinking of completing the content as picking up all the blessings while also doing everything, much more difficult here. I've got some tips for that. We'll get to that. But first, we're going to hop in and we're going to do the beginning and the end. Now, this starts out, oh, look, it's a Sararak. Folks, if you don't remember Sararak runs the Tomb of Annihilation. He's the boss in Tomb. He's back. Sararak is coming back. In fact, we're going to listen to that song at the break. It is fitting. We have a song from Bardic Inspiration called "A Sararak is Coming Back." So we're going to hop in here into the Tomb of Annihilation to stop a Sararak from assembling his villainous super team. So here's the thing. This is the favor here is Fortune's favor, right? Fortune's favor. The formation is an infinity symbol, as far as I'm concerned. Some people want to call it a sideways 8. I just refer to those as infinity symbols. Why? It's infinity. Once they add another campaign to the game, so in a year, we'll be able to say that C&E went full Disney because they went to infinity and beyond. But for now, we haven't yet. Infinity symbol, complete area 300. Difficulty, well, for me it's fair, but usually the difficulty when you start a new campaign, I don't know if this one started as fair, or if it started as deadly. Usually they start as deadly, and that's because in these difficulty ratings are entirely based off favor, and when you have 0 favor, everything looks deadly. Don't let that scare you, just hop in and try it. So there's a couple things here that we'll talk about. No, we're just going to hop in. We're going to hop in. Here's what I would recommend. And I don't say this lightly. I'm going to turn off this. I recommend if you have changed this setting, come in and turn cinematic speed down to manual. Turn cinematic speed down to manual. This adventure does something no adventure has ever done before, and it's freaked some people out, which is why one of the reasons we're talking about it today. I should have let you know it's all okay. Don't panic. Make sure you have a towel. Yeah. So the storyline is potentially important. You might want to read it. I don't read all the storylines in Idle Champions, but you might want to read the storyline in this Idle Champions. All right. So I'm just gonna throw some. I'm gonna do what I normally do. In fact, we're just gonna. Yeah, I'm just gonna auto load some stuff here. Oh my god, I shouldn't have Briv in this. Hold on. Stop. No, I jumped it. I knew I shouldn't have had Briv in. Avandra, take his place, please. Alright, so the good news is when you're doing an adventure for the first time, you can't jump the bosses. You can't jump wrong campaign for that. No, it's never a wrong time for that reference. Okay. Let's get some things going on. Are we? I feel like what happened is it's not doing the story because I've actually technically beat this once. Hold on. I may just let you read the story. Yeah, there was supposed to be conversation going on. Okay. I don't think it's gonna queue that up. But we'll see. We'll see. This is some of the things oh, there we go. Ooh, a Devourer. Now this is a fight. Havilar's excited. When Havilar is excited, you should be worried. Havilar gets excited by challenges. Folks. So here's one of the first things. So the first boss, right out the bat, they brought us the T-Rex. If you kind of missed it, it's where Briv jumped us to. It's the zombie T-Rex, which is one of the coolest fights in the game, which was probably the coolest fight in the game when it dropped. It's literally a zombie T-Rex that barfs up zombies. That's fantastic. It's not super difficult. You're going to want to just make sure that you have multi-hit champions. You need to be able to take off all the chunks of its health while also killing all the zombies. So you got to have wave clear, and you got to be hitting the zombie too. Ultimates can help, always. The Devourer, though, people don't like the Devourer. If fair. The Devourer's mechanic is that he shows up and he eats one of your champions. That's it. That's his attack. is he consumes a champion, and then a little timer fills up on the bottom of his health bar, and that's him digesting the champion. Once he's digested the champion, he eats another champion. So you're always going to do the Devourer fight. Potentially going to do the Devourer fight every time down a champion. So you got to have a little more damage. This can be difficult in a campaign where you don't have a lot of favor. We're going to talk about that. I think you could probably, I've seen some people having trouble with this, even area 10 in this, so we'll see. Does this count as the fight of Serac Ozzy? Not even close. Alright, we're going to wreck this guy because we're real strong. But he is hit-based, as you can see. So the best way to get through the Devourer, I wrecked him. The best way to get through the Devourer, we're going to go back and we're going to do it again. Hold on. Detecting some strange magical energy. Yay! Kobolds everywhere. No, stop it. Go back. Okay, we're going to look at the Devourer again. We're going to look at the Devourer again. No. Or we're not. Or we're not. Okay, the Devourer. See, he swallowed somebody. You can see their body. They're literally sitting in there waiting for you to get them out. You have 50 HP, but it's just in a single amount of damage will remove one of these chunks. So the key there is either attack speed or champions that have multi-hit attacks. As a starting champions, Ashara does this. Hitch from the newsletter does this. They have multiple attacks, and it doesn't matter. As long as you're clearing off these waves, it doesn't matter. I'm going to do this again. It's going to load Brivin. It doesn't matter if they're a support champion or not. Support champions can still help you get through the Devourer. So have some champions that get multiple attacks in. If you have any champions that have feats that are like they do bud damage over time, like Celeste right now, she's got this new Spelljammer pilot thing with an immolation feat, which means you can get the feat for gems. It is like 50,000 gems, but this kind of feat helps against bosses like that because it deals a second of bud damage every 5 seconds. That means it removes chunks off hit-based enemies like the Devourer. Devourer's not armored. Devourer's just segmented health. Pure segmented health, which we refer to as hit-based. So, as long as you're doing 1 damage or more, you're removing stuff. And guess what this does? 1 damage or more. So things like that are going to help you get through the Devourer. So don't, the Devourer is rough, but know that there is a counter to the Devourer, and it is just making sure you have enough power to kill off all those trash mobs. And then that you're hitting real quick. And ultimates can do that. Lots of ultimates are multi-hit. Who dares into the lair of fireburn smoke? That name is a little on the nose. Did you just say roar? Silence, spare me! Just a dragon? Yeah. That's good. I was just a lowly kobold before the amazing Serac gave me this incredible power. Oh, this is great. Yeah. Okay. So there's ways to get around them. Now Fireburn Smoke here is armored. You can tell because they actually have a health pool when you hover over them, or if you hit the D button. So you are gonna need actual damage there. But for whatever reason, the Devourer is usually who people, headbutt their desk over more often than anything. Look at Frost Giant skeletons. Oh, yeah. Ooh, a different universe. Uh-oh. So yeah, the Turn of Fortune's Wheel is a Planescape adventure. This campaign is set based off Planescape Adventures in the Multiverse, which is the new campaign book that came out from Wizards of the Coast. It was my suggestion, and everyone liked it. Oh boy, yeah, been there. So here's one of the other tips I want to give you. I don't know if this is this still, hold on, I'm going to hover over here. Is it still kind of? Kind of. One of the things, and I don't know if they've fixed this yet, one of the things that was discovered on Wednesday when the new campaign came out is that I remember earlier when I was saying that the gold find curve is real rough. For whatever reason, for the beginning is the end, the first time you do it wasn't rough. Which meant that you might, I don't know if this is still the case or not, but you might be able to just kind of pause this adventure in the 40s, say like 48 at the latest, farm up some favor, restart it, do it again. I'm going to tell you the little spoilers, because, you know, things are going to happen and you're not going to go to 300. So just understand, you might be able to farm a little favor here, and it may seem weird. If you've already done this and you can't take advantage of that tip, or if they've already patched this out, we do have another tip for you from the community, and we'll do that in a moment. This is kind of just a deep push formation because this is what I went in with, just assuming, all right, we're just gonna knock out 300 levels. Oh look, it's Venger, folks. Venger. Oh, it's Venger, isn't it? I'm always like Banger. I don't know. Venger. Venger's from the Saturday morning cartoons. A villain understanding us. How original. So yeah, so this, you got to think of this as like the greatest hits. Wow, look at that. That was some health. Not really. Did they fix it, Ricardoso? Alright. Oh, you're talking about something else. Never mind. I think we're talking about... there have been some interesting things that came out this week that were broken. Look, it's Endelin Moongrave! Like, yeah, so... What about they're trying to change the name. Lich's Legion? Cruel Cadre. Yeah. So, I know this is like, wow, but Karma, this is just like all the others. We're getting there, folks. We're getting there. So one of the things to note is that you start this adventure in Schult. That's the map that you're starting on. And the first thing that's going to happen once you complete this, you will get a little pop-up box down in the bottom right, which isn't showing up right now, but it's going to pop up just like it does like over here, where they add a different place that you are then taken to and can adventure to. Remember, you got to just come over here and click this, because I'll tell you, I was not focused on the fact that a box had popped up, and I'm like, why are there no other adventures? Why are there no other adventures? And I was like, that's right, there's a box. Hey, look, it's Kellic, who's cosplaying as me, apparently. Cosplaying as me. But yeah, definitely this adventure, like the first two adventures here, definitely have set some time aside to play through manually. Oh, now we've got Belle. I hate Belle. Belle is the worst. Belle is the worst in Avernus. Ugh. So annoying. Take some time, though, to sit down and read through this, because you're going to want some context to the things that's going to happen here. And then after it happens, you're going to want to read the storyline for the next adventure too, because it's new and interesting and yeah. The Eternity Enclave. They got a lot of names. While the things that are happening, because the things that are happening in the story in the second adventure aren't necessarily happening to your champions. You should be reading and paying attention and wrapping your head around what's going on, because There's weirdness in the new campaign. And if it's like, I don't get what's I don't get what's going on. It's because you kind of got to read this one. And I say that as somebody who hasn't, sorry, C&E, but I haven't read the storyline in a long time. They put a lot of effort into the stories with their writers over the years, but it's an idle game. I'm usually playing on another monitor, and the stuff is completing in the background. Here we go, folks. Did you really think I wouldn't notice they were missing? Initiate weirdness. Initiate weirdness. Don't lie to me. You may be a lich, but I have more power at my disposal than you can imagine. Yes. Return what you stole, and I will leave here in peace. We can put this behind us. I feel like the name could use some brainstorming. Yeah. So, step by step, ooh baby, things are getting weird. Right here in the last 5 levels. Now here is where, like I said, if the thing with the favor is working, here is where you would want to pause. Here's where you would want to pause and farm some favor. And when I say that, I mean you may have more than enough, click damage or whatever to kill these. So hey, I've got a gold find formation for you. Throw this baby in. Throw something like this in. You don't have to use this exact formation. But gold find formations, in general, this is not a thing I would never normally say this. Gold find formations really good in this campaign. Normally people are like, yeah, I want this one. Just pick all of the gold. If there's gold find options, pick all the gold find options. Rock it out. This has actually become, regardless of whether they've fixed this or not, this has become my pushing formation in Turn of Fortune's Wheel. Unlike every other campaign, and because people have asked me this before, Gaarawarr, should I be using a gold find, just a bunch of gold find formations to push in campaigns and earn favor? And I'm always like, no. That's a horrible idea. You want to push super deep because the scaling of pushing deep outdoes the gold find, and you just earn more favor just by pushing deep. But they've broken that here on purpose, purposefully. They have set the gold, instead of a gold find ramp that's like this as you go up in the difficulty in the adventure, the ramp is like this. It looks like it's not even really going up. So having gold find actually outscales the levels. I told you before, the first time I did this, I went to area 1300, only earned like E09 favor. I was trying to do a deep run and earn favor. I went back, I switched to a full gold find team, and I was farming in the 700s, and suddenly I had like E18, E19 somewhere in their favor. Way better. E16, somewhere in the higher teens. Way better. Almost half the level, but way more favor. So if you're worried about farming favor here, gold find teams. Now, you can also still do the thing where I'm just going to push super deep in a Zaka farm. Sure. Same concept. But if you don't want the hassle of Zaka farms, for some people it is a big hassle, you can just do this. And I say that because I've got now E23 favor here, which will buy me everything in the tier 1 blessings. And a regular deep push team, I only got like E09. I was so far away from ever getting blessings. But then I did like 2 runs with this formation, and suddenly I can buy all the favor in tier 1. Or all the blessings in tier 1. I'm not gonna. Which we should probably talk about right now. None of them worth it. This one, increase the damage of all champions by 100%. This is a global. This one's worth it. I'm gonna buy the global. Buy the global. It won't let me. Is it bugged? It won't let me buy the global. I think it's because I reset this adventure, so we'll try it again after we're done. But the rest of these, I'm just going to be honest. I don't think they matter. I don't think they matter at this point in this campaign. Because damage isn't what you're missing, really. Favor is. So keeping the favor is great. Pick up the global. Pick up the global because you'll take that. You'll take that global everywhere else. My gold fight broke the game. No. We'll figure it out in a minute. But yeah, so don't worry about that. But yeah, if you want to try, if you haven't completed the beginning to the end yet, this doesn't work in a free play, you can try farming 48, resetting, farm at 48, reset, farm at 48, because 50, everything breaks. The game, your mind, everything, because this is the thing. So let's go finish 49. Go finish 49, and then I'm going to click us over to 50, and everybody be ready for something that has never happened in this game before, and has rightfully freaked some people out. Here we go. After careful consideration, I've decided to do what I want and not care about any of the consequences whatsoever. It seems to work for adventurers all the time. Fair. So be it. What's this? Dealing with the consequences of our own actions? I'm not touching anything, folks. The game is doing this. The UI went away. What? This is usually the part where we start fighting. Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm not going to fight you, Acerak. You and your friends over there. Uh-oh. We're not friends. We're not with him. You will not die by my hand, but rest assured you will die. This form may die, but will return even if I should fall today. This is not over. Be sure to tell the Lady of Pain that. What? Folks, I am not an expert in Planescape. But even I know about the Lady of Pain. The Lady of Pain is effectively the leader effectively in charge of Sigil. And is so powerful. Is not a god. I want to be clear. Lady of Pain is not a goddess. In fact, refuses to be worshipped. And in fact, when someone tries to worship her, people find them flayed. Lady of Pain, not into being worshipped. Not a goddess. But so powerful, she keeps all the gods from visiting Sigil. You can't, as a god, you can't just go to Sigil. You can go anywhere else in the multiverse. Not Sigil. Apparently, but this person's like, be sure to tell the Lady of Pain that. What? Lady of Pain. Famously, if you look at the Lady of Pain, famously either you die or come very, very close and never ever attempt to lay your eyes on her ever again. Famously, if the Lady of Pain walks by you and you end up in her shadow, screwed. Okay. Be sure to tell the Lady of Pain that. What? Even a cervix? What? While we were talking, I entangled this tomb with Sigil. She'll be here any moment. Good luck. What? You did what? You did what? Avert your eyes. I'm not looking at her. I swear. She killed us, didn't she? She killed us. She killed us all. TPK. I love it so much. Yeah, Lady of the Absolute Backhand. Yeah. Don't people were worried about. They were like, "Wait, what do we got to do to beat this?" You don't, folks. This is for the first time ever. This is our first script supposed to happen. There's no beating the Lady of Pain in this. She's the Lady of Pain. Gods fear her. Okay. So the beginning and the end complete with the green. That means we did the thing. That means we did the thing. Okay. Now down here you'll see potions refunded. I don't know if they got this working or not. They had put this feature in so that if you used a bunch of potions because you thought you were going to 300, it would refund them. I'm not sure if it's working anymore or not. Because there was a big bug with that. Just know they've already fixed it. So yeah. But that was the idea here. They were trying to make sure that nobody got punished for completing the adventure. Now, as you can see, Sigil shows up in the bottom right, and now we can go to Sigil. Now, you can go back and do the beginning as the end again. Guess what? Lady of Pain is not there. You can play through. You'll do your 50 areas and whatever. You can keep running the beginning and the end, whatever you want. Okay. It has a regular free play there. You don't have to deal with the scripted part. The variant here is Tomb of Champions. So you must complete area 150 within 30 minutes of starting the objective. This is a time trial. Can't use fire breath potions. Can't use click damage. So just know, 150. You gotta do 150 in 30 minutes. It's doable. By this point, you should have a you should have a full bench of speed champions. Well, not full because they haven't put a speed champion in every bench slot yet. But you should have a full party of speed champions potentially, and a speed core. So these are fun. I think these are fun. So rock that out. Let's come over to Sigil. This confused the heck out of me, and some people had to explain. I'm like, Sigil's supposed to be this circular city in space, right? They're like, well, these are the Outlands. And I'm like, well, then why didn't they call this the Outlands? I'm still confused. Apparently Sigil is up above this. Like, there's this tree, and then Sigil is a floating circular thing up above here. So if you're confused like me, maybe that'll help. So the next one is the end is the beginning, and what just happened? Yeah, exactly. What? This one you will have to get all the way through. They reset both of them for me. Okay. Guess I'm doing that again too. The storyline here is unique as well. I'm gonna cue this up just and then I guess I'll do it in the background. It's Mort, folks. Throwback time. Mort. He's right here on the screen. And he's also talking to us. Nayeli. That's a Gith Yankee. What? Welcome to Planescape, folks. Welcome to Planescape Adventures in the Multiverse. Yeah, don't remember who you are, huh? I mean, it says Nayeli, but Nayeli doesn't know who they are. I'm gonna give you a name. You look like badass. Yeah, that's actually yeah. Got that name right, Mort. Calliope. Calliope's now a heron gone. What? I want to be clear. This isn't... If you put these champions into your formation... No. Havilar. This is one of my favorites. Havilar is literally Aaron M. Evans. That's Aaron M. Evans, folks. And we got more. That's Tangerino. So when you load up here, please read through this and look at the pictures. You're not always going to know, like some of them. Yeah, it says freely. What? That's B. Dave Walters, folks. I wish they hadn't put the names because it'd make you figure it out. Or Kira, hey, folks, it's Lauren. It's our friend, Lauren. I like this. Oh, not again. No, just this weird feeling this has happened before. Yeah, this is great. Ren, thank you. I am not entirely sure if this is a champion in the future or just a new character. I think it kind of looks like Cypher of Tyr to me. But because it didn't say first Celise, I don't know. But yeah, if there's a champion and that champion was created by a content creator, when they put the text in here, the art now looks like the content creator. Seems glitched. Yeah, this is a thing with Planescape. This is a thing with the new Planescape story. So I'm gonna turn this off. We're just gonna move through. I will let you all enjoy this on your own. I'm gonna rock this gold find formation because I do feel like it is just a fantastic pushing formation. Oh, I should have got to put my freaking. Unlike me, please make sure you load your Modron, the formation in your Modron core, so you don't have to click through all of these. That's one more. There we go. Okay, I knew that was coming. Overwrite feats, and make sure you go through and change your feats to gold find feats. Again, gold find is what's important in this new Turn of Fortune's Wheel meta. Yeah. Again, you can just push super deep and then Azaka farm. There, yeah, it let me buy it. I just had to get out of the first adventure, which makes sense because in the first adventure you shouldn't have any favor, so there was a block on purchasing that, and that's fine. So, Ren could be Fen. Yes, Ren could be Fen or Celise. Here's the thing. Celise, Astorio, character created by Cypher of Tyr. Fen, the character created by Cypher of Tyr. It could be either one of them. It could be either one of them. I don't know. So yes. So the new campaign, there's a lot of what going on. I recommend the storyline. I recommend at least reading through the story. Remember, the story only encompasses the first 50 areas of an adventure. So take some time, read the story. Don't put it on normal speed. Normal is it moves too fast. There's too much text to read. Slow it down. It doesn't have to be manual, but slow it down a bit. Yeah, it's worth your time. It's worth your time because otherwise this is going to be confusing as heck. And it's probably going to be confusing anyway. A little bit. But, it is what it is. Try out this thing. You don't have to use this formation. I'm not saying this is the most optimal. In fact, Krull back here shouldn't even be in right now. Krull is there for the later push when I'm farming in a place where I'm not killing instantly, and then he can build up his pilfer stacks, and then I get fountains of gold. But figure out something that's going to work for you. Normally I would have, I can put Jarlaxle in. Jarlaxle's done with his jury duty. Master Piracy. Yes, I can even more gold on this run than I would normally get. Fantastic. So yeah. It is new, it is unique. Obviously there's going to be more coming. CD wanted to do this tutorial show because before we even got into, before I had no idea about the gold change until Wednesday, but I knew what was happening in the first adventure, and because it was something that had never happened in this game before, they very much, wanted to give everybody a heads up via the tutorial show. If people have questions, they can come here and get answers. As much as I can give answers. And just know, hey, don't freak out. This is they are doing things a little different. Obviously, Planescape is a little different. And this is the way they decided to take it, and I think it's great. There will be more interesting things coming in the future. And we called this Turn of Fortune's Wheel Part 1 because there's probably going to be a Part 2 at some point. It doesn't mean it's going to be immediately with the next content drop, but there'll probably be a Part 2. Expect some throwbacks to the OG Planescape, I'm sure. Yeah. The variant off of this one, I thought this one was going to be completed, and they just reset all of my adventures in this campaign, which is fine. I can do them again. The variant for the end is the beginning. The variant restriction is that all positional formation abilities are inverted, which means the variant for this one is Warduke, but a variant, which means if you have Warduke, you can put Warduke in the variant, and for the first time ever, all positional formation abilities will work as normal, which is, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be the first time I really use Warduke, like purposefully, because the whole inverting thing is just annoying. I can't. But I'm going to get to use Warduke, and everything's going to be normal, and I can't wait. So yeah, I expect some interesting, probably some interesting mechanics added in the Planescape. I mean, we're already seeing interesting stuff already, and you know, they're probably going to break out the weird. Roll with it, folks. Roll with it. Last thing to wrap up. I know there's a lot of people are like, well, if we can't gain favor, what happens when we get a legendary that rolls into Fortune's favor, right? Because legendaries always have a favor requirement of the area. Like, there's a favor that's lashed to it. You spend an order of magnitude of it. What happens if we get Fortune's favor? You can't. As of right now, they have not turned that on yet. So we don't have to worry about that currently. As people start progressing, and if they see people are finding ways to gain favor and stuff, then they may turn it on. But as of right now, there is no paying Fortune's favor. You can't even have Fortune's favor as a requirement. So don't worry about that. Am I forgetting anything else? If I'm forgetting anything else, please throw questions. We only have about a half a dozen questions. Throw your questions in chat with question colon, as you can see down below. We're going to take a short break and listen to the Acerarak song, since Acerarak did this. This is Acerarak's fault. And when we come back, I will go into the Q&A portion. All right. Be right back, folks.
Switch will make you rich, oh yeah, oh yeah. Traps go boom when you're in its tombs. In every room it could meet your doom, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. I say alright, coming back. Don't give no slack, better watch your back. Gonna attack, turn you into a snack. Try to you may be brave if you fail and say you're gonna take you to your grave, so you best behave, oh yeah, oh yeah. And when you fall, they feed you to the atropol, it'll lead you through, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. I say alright, it's coming back, don't give them no flack, better watch your back, it's gonna attack. Open the gate, ceiling straight, use the skeleton T. Where could it be? Oh no, oh no. When you think you've won, got them on the run, you're not really done, or it's only just begun. Oh no, I say alright, it's coming back. Don't give no flack, better watch your back. It's gonna attack, turn you into a snack, chopping you up to play. I say alright, coming back, gotta watch your back, go on about, it's gonna attack, turn you into snack.
love the part in that song where at the end where Jason's just like, blah, 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 I can't remember his line, and then just kind of laughs and then continues. That's what happens when you write a song in 2 hours and have to try to perform it at the end of that 2 hour period. I miss Bardic Inspiration. I was watching a conversation in chat, and I have to agree. Toy for Run said, "You know what? I'm getting Dahani vibes from Ren, like monk vibes. That's entirely possible. It could entirely be Latia Jaquise. It is very difficult for me to, in a lot of these cases, to translate a cartoon version of a creator and match it to them. I did not, right out of the gate, I did not recognize Lauren or B-Dave. I don't know why. Lauren, I think it was the ears, and B-Dave is the tattoo. I was just not paying attention. It was Aaron's character that jumped out because it was human. And I was like, oh, that's Aaron. It could be Latia Jaquise. Absolutely. I don't know. And as somebody said, Ren is a bird, and so is Dahani. Like Ren, the name. So yeah, sold on. Yeah, it could entirely be possible. Could entirely be possible. And yeah, the other three had the regular character names, but for whatever reason, I was looking at the picture and I just still didn't put with freely that it was B Dave. For whatever reason, I didn't. And I didn't with Lauren either. Again, cartoon versions of people, I guess I just don't recognize. Except for Aaron. I don't know why. So, yeah, I guess we'll find out. Again, it could also just be a new character that got thrown into the party, right? Because they introduce new characters all the time. It could be the upcoming Evergreen, or it could just be a character that's in the storyline, an NPC that they're introducing with this campaign. We don't know. All right. Let's see if there's any questions on this topic. Oh, first off, I forgot to put in my own code today. Low gold find curve. I mean, I had to, folks, right? Come on. On Saturdays, I make my own code, and well, I don't make it. I come up with the code, and then Gabe makes it. Also, this weekend, if you didn't see, it's a gold Sigil chest. Delora, Celeste, Archon, Artemis, and Shandy items. I don't know why that's what it is. It's a gold Sigil chest. Make sure you sign up for the newsletter so you can get one of these free every week. You get a free gold chest in the mail every week, folks. It's worth it. Hit escape, go to newsletter, put in a valid email address, get hitched in Idle Champions today, because the first thing they're going to send you is Hitch for free. That's Mitch. This is Mitch. This is Mind Flayer Hitch. We just call him Mitch. Yeah. All right. Joan of Arc. Good to see you. What do you recommend if you've been pushing with a gold find group, some DPS and survivability, but heaviest on gold find in your favor gain is stalled at E16? Full gold find? Maybe. Again, I don't find that pushing very far helps me. I just find that maximizing the gold gain helps me. So go full gold find and see if that helps. Otherwise, multiple runs is a key. This is something I don't know if everybody gets. Maybe if maybe it just hasn't clicked yet, which is totally fine. A lot of things in this game take a little while to click in, and maybe you just don't think about them at all. But you have to do multiple runs when even if you start at 0 favor and you have all in a regular gold find curve, like in an event, you can go all the way to 2000. You're not suddenly at like E80 favor. You might have E15, E20 after that run, maybe E30. Then you got to do it again using the multiplier of the favor on the next run. And that gets you to a new plateau. And then you do it again and you do it again. So if your current run is at 16, what you didn't tell me here is, have you done multiple runs? Is this your third run, your fourth run? Are you pushing deeper? Is it going up? Or are you stalled? Like, have you done 4 or 5 runs and now you're stalled and you can't go above E16? I don't know. 5th or 6th free play. Okay, again, if you're in 5th or 6th and you're kind of plateauing, full gold find. The other alternate is the tried and true start with a pushing group. Then when you wall out, Azaka farm. Then after the Azaka farm's done, switch the pushing group back in, level them up with the new gold, move forward. These are things that a lot of people, it's a standard, to me, it's standard practice when I'm starting a new player account. Is there is always an option when I'm pushing in to then switch to an Azaka farm within the run, get a bunch of gold, switch back to the pushing group, push further, rinse, repeat. This is actual requirement for click debuff. I'm not encouraging people to click debuff. It's horrible. But this was a requirement for click debuff, was you click as far as possible, Azaka farm, click further, Azaka farm, click further. And you can apply that type of technique to this campaign as well. And then you can combine both the high area level of a pushing group with the high gold find of a pure gold find group. As Strider mentions, and people have been mentioning this from the beginning, you can also do a much more manual version of play where, this level is going to slow you down a little bit, but where you have a gold find group and then you have a pushing group and you switch to the pushing group, have it set your bud, and then burn a fire breath potion here, like this. Again, it's not going to help you here. Anything with the hit based or armored, you're going to slow down on. But we're at like E258 in our bud. So once we get off of these segmented health things, we're going to fly through levels, right? You can do that. You can bud spike and then gain with the gold. Instead of keeping the pushing group in. Yeah. If you want to play more manually, I don't. But if you do, that's entirely possible. This is my bud level. Oh yeah, that makes total sense. You set your bud around, in the 70s, like the high 70s, and then ride that bud everywhere else, because guess what's going to happen? Now we're just going to wreck everything with fire breath potions. Okay. But yeah, really leaning into this. If you don't have a Dob is fantastic because of the way Dob steals your gold and then turns it into more gold find. That's just fantastic. You might know to have a Valentine in here. Whether you use Valentine or a Vondra is going to depend on like how far you've pushed and also how many PFAs, positional formation abilities, Valentine has. I find it more consistent with Valentine, but when I get to like my wall, could be better with Avandra. So there's things, and again, once we get to my wall, Shandy's coming out and Krull is going in, not freely. Egbert's going to be better, but yeah. So there's lots of things. Again, this is, new campaign who dis. This is the time where for this campaign, this campaign's going to have its own kind of meta way of pushing. And we're not going to know for sure. We already know, hey, Gold Find is a potential meta, running a Gold Find push. Also, doing a Bud Spike. Also, hey, they brought Azaka back, because I'd kind of been moving away from Azaka farming completely. I'd stopped doing it. It's going to be a thing here. So, it's going to take us a little while to really nail down exactly the best way to do this. But already we know ways to earn good amounts of favor and try to get those blessings. It is definitely, we are definitely leaning on. Oh, another thing you're going to want to do, and I don't know that I've done, is make sure you have a core that has gold find nodes. I did not hook up my gold find nodes in this core. Because this is just my speed core. I'm going to want to do that. Hold on. This is not a good idea. Let's go modest and, no, hold on. Let's go unaffiliated. Unaffiliated has the gold find hookup, I think. Yes. And also, the other thing about the unaffiliated is I have reduced the amount of gold required to level up champions by 94% and reduced the health of enemies by 94%. So, a slower core with gold find and those bonuses also going to help you. Now, normally, I'm going to come back. I'm going to go back to my speed one here because right now I just want to get to my wall fast. But when I start to farm gold, I'm gonna want to switch cores to one that has gold find nodes enabled. Absolutely, and the reduced champion cost. Yeah, that's big. That's big. Aritra Mustafi, I'm doing Icewind Dale now, so a long way to go before I reach the new campaign, but a general question. I normally do the campaign until I get the champion from there and then see if I want to bounce around. Yeah, is this a good strategy or should I spread around to get more perks? No, I think that's great. That's generally what I recommend. In fact, I have a new player reference, aka a guided tour. It's on the subreddit. And I set it as a milestone progression system, and I set the milestones as earning those champions. So yeah, getting those evergreens from the campaigns, that's usually what I recommend. I recommend going through and just doing the storyline adventure first, then coming back and doing whatever variants you need to do to get the champion, and then bouncing. Until you get to like Baldur's Gate. Then there's some more variants to do there for patron progression, but yeah, I think that's kind of the best way to do it, and then go back and clean everything up later. Yeah. Gordus, is one of the two adventures better than the other for gold favor farming? I'll be honest, there's a lot of messed up bosses in the first adventure. So this might be one. Usually the first adventure is the best. There's always exceptions to those rules. And this one might be one of those exceptions. It might be the second. I did not pay attention to the bosses. Well, we're seeing them now. I don't think the bosses here are as problematic, especially with the Devourer. The Devourer is a hard wall for a lot of people. So not having to do the Devourer just basically tells you that the end is the beginning is the better place to farm right now. Now remember, you don't have to just, oh my god, I gotta get an E80 favor in this new campaign or something like. There's a lot more of this campaign to go, and who knows if they're going to introduce things that make things easier. They even said on Dev Insights that they aired on the lower end for the favor curve because they felt it was easier to increase than to later decrease, which is true. People would get real mad if they made it less after a while. So yeah. I think probably the second adventure right now, but there may be a better adventure in the future. This is somewhat relevant. Evil Emperor Zerg, did you ever play the original Planescape Torment adventure? I don't think so. I don't think so. I remember playing the Baldur's Gate games. But I don't remember playing Planescape Torment. Yeah. D2 Crafty One, they were ahead of their time. It took a while to get there. Should I still be using my Speed Core for this or just change up to the Magic Core? You can do whatever you want. I use the Speed Core because I'm moving quickly with a Fire Breath Potion and Familiars. Oh, and normally what I would be doing if I were doing a favor farm, again, this is a place where firing up, at least when you're starting, firing up a huge potion of clairvoyance. I'm just going to do it. And then as you get later on and you're farming, a full stack of gold find. Even if you're not a Zaka farming. Yeah. It's fantastic. I've done that. That's one of the ways I got up to the E23 that I got was full stacks of gold find. I haven't even done an Azaka farm. Big Carl, my turn of Fortune's Wheel adventure was a red flag on the map with a message saying no adventures available. What am I missing to unlock? I'm probably restarting your client. sometimes when a new patch comes through, it shows up, but it doesn't let you activate the new stuff until you restart, because sometimes you need to patch in something that it needs to begin. So, Carl, I would say that. Start with that. Oh, and make sure you don't have a patron selected. Yeah, that'd do it too. So make sure out here it's active patron, no patron. No patron. Cause yeah. But also, if that's the case and it's no patron, restart the client. In cases like in weird bug situations, this is the normal tech thing of turn it off and turn it back on again. In some cases, I will completely shut down Steam as well. I run mine on Steam, and I'll restart Steam, and then I'll start the client, and then usually everything is working fine. But when those things don't work, then submit a ticket. And the ticket is the question mark. You can't see it, but question mark for support down here at the bottom right. Yeah, they're real good about getting back to you on ticket, or at least they're real good about getting back to me on tickets. Niskis, is enemies HP reduction pre or post gold drop calculation? Because gold drop is directly bound to monster HP. That's a question for the developers. I don't know. I don't think they would nerf your gold gain. I would say it's probably hard coded. The gold drop is related to monster HP, but I think when you reduce the monster, I would hope when you reduce monster health via your Modron core, that and via things like Eliwick, that the gold stays the same. But you're gonna have to ask on Dev Insights for clarity. I would think that would be how they would make it function. That doesn't mean that's how they made it function. Right? Yeah. All right, we're on to general questions. Again, if you have more questions about this new campaign, Turn of Fortune's Wheel, or if you have just questions about the game in general, let me know. Yeah, the base H, I think it's just lashed to there at the bottom. Area base monster health. I think that's what it's lashed to. And that doesn't change, even if your Modron node changes or anything else changes. So I think it's directly connected to base monster health, which isn't, and then there's another actual monster health that's based off Modron stuff. Iroku Fluffball, do you know what Sean's favorite campaign is? I don't. No. I have no idea. I don't think I've asked Sean that before. Whichever one he can get nachos in. Shadow Landman, the achievement The Last Stand says, use Paulton's ultimate attack while it's charged up by an enemy in range of at least 20. Mm-hmm. What is that? I did it, but it says it says, but I don't know what it is. So enemy in rage. Normally, most often this is seen on boss levels. When it's a boss that moves, if the boss moves all the way to your enemy, your formation, and starts attacking, at the bottom there will be a kind of a meter that fills up, like X1, X2, X3, X4, and charges up. That's the enemy in rage meter. That's what they're referring to. So you have to get that to 20, because Paulton's ultimate has a feature that the higher the enrage is, the more damage it does. So they're trying to get you to interact with that. You can also get that enrage meter on non-boss levels, but it means 100 enemies have to be on the screen at once, which means your tanks have to be tanking a cumulative 100 enemies, and then it will enrage. But usually it's more often seen on boss levels. Mr. McCranky, in a Trials campaign, do free plays take down Tiamat's health at all? So it's not the runs that you're doing that reduce Tiamat's health. I wish I could demonstrate. I wish I could go in and show you, but I literally just finished my campaign. It is the total. It is your damage contributions that are the calculations that reduce Tiamat's health. So what you're doing when you're doing runs and maybe even free plays, the point of that is to try to, what you can think of it in more easiest terms, is try to set the highest bud as possible. And sometimes it might take not just their first adventure, but a free play afterwards based off your favor. Like if you're not able to soft cap on that first adventure, you might, which means level your champions all the way up until they don't have any more upgrades. You might need to run a second one. Like you might need to run a free play to do that. So once you can soft cap your champions, then you're considered to be doing the most damage you possibly could on those champions. You're setting your potentially highest bud. It isn't just setting the bud, it's attacking with that bud over and over again. It literally adds up, but obviously diminishing returns, right? I usually just do one D push on day one, all the way to as far as I can go. It's usually 1500s, 1600s. Bud gets real high. I don't need to do a free play. If I were to hop in a free play, the whole point would just be to potentially over level my champions and eke out a few more bud. But I don't need it. Yeah. So it's not that doing more adventures would take out more health off Tiamat. It's just, it wouldn't matter at all unless you're hitting a higher damage than you were before. Which is why after day, like you just do that on day one, day two and on, hop in and just complete the trial, like get to your completion goal and bounce. You don't have to do deep pushes after that. Day one is where you need the deep push. I'm not sure. Well, the toy, I'm not sure what you're asking. You said, does AL level? What's ALLVL? This is what I'm not understanding. A huge part of account power? I don't know what that means. I don't know what that term is that you're trying to create. To get big buds cannot reach 1300 when only speed champions are leveled up. I'm not sure what you're doing. Part of it is I don't... Oh, average item level. Okay. That was not... Okay. So is average item level a huge part of account power? No. No. It is a part of account power. And unlike, there are certain formations that like high average item levels, like Artemis and Krond. And there are certain support champions that like high average item levels, like BBEG and Ontreus and Strongheart. But to say it's a huge part of account power, no. Because there's a lot of different pillars of power. There is, of course, your champions. And that includes their gear, sub under that their gear, rarity, and their average item level. This is all part of champion power. But then adding on to those, you can then add legendary effects and support and marvelous pigments. Pigments are a fixed amount, but legendary effects can be upgraded. Legendary effects are currently the strongest, largest part of account power if you have them higher. They have the most potential in terms of adding power to your account. That's where the big chunk of power can be. Like when you see people setting super high damage levels, that's part of it. Are there exceptions to this? Sure, but we'll get to that in a minute. So there's a huge chunk is legendaries. You also have patron perks. You have your blessings. Those are obviously fixed amounts, but getting all of those out is also more account power. Your Modron cores, depending on what kind of formation you're running, are your Modron cores solid and set up? I don't know. You need that. You need level 15 Modron core, at least full epic, and as you progress, you want to supercharge to get even more power out of it. Currently, the unaffiliated core is the most powerful in terms of like what it can offer, because it can be fully supercharged, and the others can't. Although they've told us there's a new core. There's a Dex core. There's a high Dex core coming in the upcoming season 6. Unofficial name, bringing Dexy back. It's a high Dex season. So the champions are all about high Dex, and the buffs are all about high Dex, and the core is all about high Dex. So there's rumors floating around that one can be fully supercharged as well, which is good. But yeah, so there's a lot of different ways you can add power to your account. And you should be looking to do all of that. Now, I do keep on my account an average item level floor, so a minimum level of power on all of my champions. When I started off, I think my average item level floor was like 60. Now it's 200. And there are people who have floors that are higher than mine. That kind of spreading that kind of power out and making sure they all have a solid minimum amount of power can be really helpful, especially when you're doing variants and you're using champions that you're not always used to using. They're always going to come in with a solid amount of power. Rough Rider, that's where I was going to go when I got to that question. I'm glad somebody else went there. Yeah, I mean, so average item levels, there are exceptions. There's only one hard, true, always true rule in idle champions. There's one, and that is that there's an exception to every rule. Because there's just an exception to every rule that we come up with in this game to try to help players. There's always an exception. And some people like to throw that exception in our face and say, well, you're wrong. That's wrong because this. No. 90 to 99% of the time, one thing can be true. And then once in the game or in one place, this other thing can be true. That's just the way this game works. So there are ways to create outrageous power. I mean, truly, truly outrageous. Like gem in the holograms level power via item levels. There are. And that power can be bigger than anything else you could ever have in this game. But that doesn't mean that's how the game works. It just means there's an exception to the rule. And the vast majority of the time, you don't even need to think about stuff like that. There are people who've played this game for so long that they're bored and they just push things to outrageous levels, and then people are like, whoa, so that's what I have to do to get power? No. It is not. So, I'm going to jump down here. Evil Emperor Zerg, did Dexy ever really leave? Q, no, they just went on a midnight run with Eileen. Yeah, that's where I was going to go with that one. Throwing in all the old school references today. Babylon Wanderer. Oh yeah, this is good. With regards to this weekend's free time gate, it's a natural time gate weekend, folks. What's the best method to farm chests? You don't. I'm glad you asked. You don't farm chests in natural time gates. Time gates are not events, folks, but hey, it's a free time gate weekend. If you didn't know that, go get your free champion. You're going to get one of 3 champions for free. Your 3 offerings may be different from my 3 offerings because it's based on your account. If there are champions you don't own, you're guaranteed one of them. So go pick up stuff. For me, it's Entreus, Sentry, and Paulton. I'll be doing a Paulton time gate. In fact, I'll queue it off. Now, I make my decisions based off the fact that they're all fully epic. So I'm looking at item levels, and so Paulton's going to need more item levels. So here's how you get chests in a time gate. It is time gates and events. 2 different rules. Okay. They're both systems that deliver you champions and gear. They do it in 2 different ways. So please separate these in your mind palace. These are 2 different rooms. You can get a maximum of, at this time, you get a maximum of 3 gold chests. And that is it. Completing your first adventure, completing your second adventure, completing the variant. That is it. If all you're doing is hunting epics, do all 3 of these, bounce. Okay? Do all 3 of these and bounce. You can get silvers. Silvers are granted in a very specific way. And that is when you do any of these, if you are, as you are pushing higher and higher areas, you can earn them every unique 100 areas you go. So think of area 100, 200, 300, 400. Think of these as steps you're climbing. Once you've stepped onto area 100, you earn a silver chest. It just shows up in your inventory. And then let's say you get to 150 and you run out of power, you restart, you come up again. When you hit 100 again, you don't get anything because you already got that one. You got to get to 200 now, right? But you could just do all of this. You know, if you can do your first run to 1200, there's 12 silver chests. There's no chance of getting golds. Time gates are truly about earning extra silvers as based off how far you go. There's also a blessing or a perk. There's a perk that it's silly. It's a chance to get 2 silver chests. So whatever. So technically, there's a chance for double on each drop once you get that perk. But usually people are going time gates to get a champion and then to get some gold chests for them to hunt epics. And in those cases, you can just go 1, 2, 3 and bounce. Yeah. You can't farm chests repeatedly. Once you complete that time gate, the next time you do a time gate for that champion, it will reset your silver thing, and then you can start up the ladder again, or up the steps, or whatever, But once you've gotten to that step, you have to get to a higher step to get another reward. Ritra, on trials, do legendary effects add anything to the hero bonus, or is it just the item level of the gear? Neither. Let's talk about legendaries. So, with gear, there are 4 rarities. Legendaries do show up as a rarity, but they're different. You need to understand they are different. When you're talking all the way up through epic, there is a base effect on this item. It's the increase of the damage of all champions for this one. And it goes up as I get the rarity to go up. And then as I add item levels to this item, that adds power to this effect. And if I add a gilding to it, like this one is a golden gilded, that adds to that effect as well. Okay. When I add a legendary effect to this item in the forge, I guess I should do Bruenor since we were talking about this one. The legendary effect comes from this list. And this list is per champion, not per item. So there's 6 different effects that can happen for Bruenor, regardless of what item you put it on. It will get one, and when I forge it, it will get one of these 6 at random. This is the effect that legendaries add. Adding legendary doesn't change. It doesn't change the gilding. It doesn't change the item levels. It doesn't change the base effect at all. That item is technically still an epic item. It is an epic item with a legendary effect. That is the clearest way to explain it. So, you can see legendary effect. It gets added to the bottom. Increase the damage of all champions stays. Legendary effect goes on the bottom. Starts off at level 1. I can come in here and I can upgrade this effect. It costs... Oh, oops. And I just did. It costs favor. Right now it costs favor and scales. Congratulations, Bruno. You leveled up. It now goes to level 2, and what happened is it doubled the effect. This started off as a damage of all champions by 40% for each champion with Strength Sword, blah, 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 blah. Now it's 80%. Every time you hit the upgrade button, the effect power for the legendary effect doubles. It does not change the base effect of the item at all. If you want to change the base effect of the item, you still have to add item levels to it, or gilding to it if you haven't. That's it. And the same thing happens if you add a pigment to an item. Who's got a pigment? Briv's got a pigment. Hey, Briv's got 2 pigments. So he has a base effect, he has a legendary effect, he has a marvelous support pigment effect that is fixed, it can't go up, and he has a marvelous tanking pigment effect that's fixed and can't go up. So you're adding effects with legendaries and pigments, but it doesn't change the base of that effect of that item at all. TG Siamon, hi, I'm new to the game. Welcome. You're in a good place. Streams like this one, you can ask questions in and get help. Just ask specifically, and it looks like you have a specific question. That's good. But we have lots of answers and lots of guides. We can help you out a lot. I saw you have a lot of legendary gear. Yeah. Well, yeah. Mm-hmm. How do you recommend I use my time to get better gear for my heroes? So legendary isn't something as a new player you're going to need to worry about. You have to unlock Trials of Mount Tiamat and the Legendary Forge to get there. And when you do, don't do what I did. I put legendary effects on every piece of gear on every single one of my champions just because I wanted to. It's an inefficient use of my scales. Yeah, it is. Sometimes you do things for fun, and that was fun for me. But when you're starting, the way you get gear is you run adventures. You run new adventures, and every adventure you're going to earn gems. And you can hover over this sign to see the gems, or you can come in here and see what your gem total is. But you're going to want to go into the store, and you're going to want to go to the chest page, and you're going to want to go, when you're brand new, you'll buy silver chests for a while until you have, actually you can go to the gem items shop. You'll buy silver chests for a while until you have green or better gear on all of the champions that you started the game with, like they're your core champions. Then once you're green or better, start spending those gems on gold chests. The reason you don't start with gold chests is they're way more expensive. But the thing about gold chests is they give better gear than silver chests. So silvers can only give you whites, greens, and blues. Gold chests will give you greens, blues, and purples. You want to get your greens from these and from the Electrum chests from shows like this one when you put the code in. And then gold chests are going to get you blues faster, and then have the potential to get you purples. And then all the duplicates you're getting, because you'll get duplicate gear, add item levels, which adds power. So, yeah. So really, if you're trying to get better gear, it's by buying chests with your gems. Every now and then, when you can, if you have enough gems to come over here and buy a familiar, buy the familiar. Familiars are great quality of life. I have reasons for not buying Jeremy. I love Jeremy. I love Jeremy to death. But I also have 70. I've got 80. I've got over 80 familiars because I've got 10, 16 out on the fields. I've got 90 familiars, folks. It's fine. It's fine. Jeremy didn't do anything wrong. Don't worry, folks. So yeah, that's the best way to work on getting better gears. But you start by opening silver chests when you're new and you have no gear, and you'll start getting whites and greens, an occasional blue, but you want to get it so that all of those like Brunor and Celeste and Nayeli, all those starting champions have at least green gear, and then you start buying blues or gold chests because that's just a more efficient way to upgrade your gear. Yeah, folks, Jeremy did not do anything wrong. I want to be clear. Jeremy's a good boy. Jeremy didn't do anything wrong. CNE, Codename Entertainment, did something wrong, and so Jeremy is going to stay forever sitting on that gem page. and I will appreciate Jeremy, but I won't purchase Jeremy. You should, though. Jeremy is an inexpensive early familiar, and people need inexpensive early familiars. 85 Hawk. I think I just misheard. But when you open a new time gate for a champion, the silver chests for each 100 levels reset? Correct. Does that work when they come up for events then as well? Again, events are a completely different thing. Events are a separate system. So do not try to correlate events and time gates. They are two different things. Every time you open a new time gate for the same champion, you reset the ability to earn silver chests in that time gate. Events are a completely different system. Next week, when an event starts, an event will start on Wednesday. We've already got the champion spotlight for the new champion, Jang Sao. I'm super excited. Super excited. Wednesday the 8th, you will have a new event. Ask me then about we can talk about the rules about events then. I don't want to confuse people. Events, time gates are different, and right now this is time gates. And time gates, yeah, when you open a new time gate, it resets your ability to earn silver chests. Also, you can then earn those 3 gold chests again, right? That's the point of time gates, is to be able to cycle that content over and over. Events are complete and done for the most part, with one exception. They have a different rule set. Slicer King 2000 just returned to the game after almost 2 years of not playing. Welcome back. Here's my first tip for you. If you had signed up for the newsletter and you did go check your email, if you didn't delete them, if they are still in your inbox, you'll have over 100 newsletters sitting there. All of those codes for free chests still work. They didn't expire. Also, you potentially have codes for multiple free champions. Enjoy. And maybe a couple of skins. Enjoy. There's your morning or afternoon. Have every champion released up through Dungeon Master. Okay. Which was the last event you played. I was wondering, of the champions who have released since then, who should I prioritize? Oh my gosh, hold on. For me to figure that out, I have to open up my own guide page, because I need to look at a list of everybody who's come out since then. I can tell you off the top of my head, there's some very strong support champions you're going to want to pick up to help you push further. Okay, there's Dungeon Master. Awesome. I can tell you, without even looking at this, I can tell you, you're going to want to pick up Ontreus and BBEG. Ontreus is part of the Awful Ones. BBG is related to them, but doesn't show the list as well. Strongheart and Strongheart. Those right now, at the moment, you're in a weird place where we're at the end of a season, so I don't really recommend picking up season champions. But if these are the 3 to think of long term. Ontreus, BBG, Strongheart. They're all OP support champions. Okay. I'm looking at the rest of this list. There's a lot of other good champions here, but I am going to then say stop. Ontreus, BBEG, and Strongheart. If you have enough to pick up those 3, great. Check your free natural time gate. Maybe you got one. But here's the thing that has happened since you left. And I'm going to tell you priority actually should be Strongheart. And then second Ontreus, third BBEG, for reasons. Here's the thing. Seasons were introduced. Now, again, we only have 4 days left in this season, so I don't want you to go out and try to rush picking up these champions. There is, you could. But, and you could probably get some quests done, and you could pick up some rewards. You can if you want. I'm not saying don't. These are all discounted at 3 time gate pieces each. But if you just want a super OP champions, Strongheart, I think, should be your number 1 goal. Because Strongheart, while not a seasoned champion, is a seasoned knight. He has an ability called Seasoned Knight that makes doing season stuff easier. It gives you double credit for everything. Okay? And that's going to be big because a new season is going to start in 4 days and it's going to have 5 champions in it. They're all going to be discounted time gates. You may actually own them all already. If you had everyone before Dungeon Master, you own them all already, I think. And the rewards are going to be based off you using those champions. And if you have Strongheart with you, you can finish these quests faster and you can earn these rewards faster. And these rewards in seasons, these are huge deals. Seasons are big deals now. If you want right now, here's an argument for picking these up. 3 time gate pieces for each of these. You're going to own I think you own most of these. You might own all of these. Hold on, you might already have all of these except maybe for Vi? Maybe. Hold on, I closed the tab. You might also have Vi. Hold on. No, you have Vi. You've got all of these. Yeah. So, you already have all of these season champions. Because you said you had everything through Dungeon Master. So you want to pick up Strongheart right away. And you want to throw Strongheart in a background party. It can just be parked on one level. It doesn't have to make any progress. And then you want to throw these 5 into a formation and start rocking season quests. Whatever you can do. Start with like the seasonals, build a formation that gets you a bunch of stuff all at the same time. And earn as many rewards as you can in 4 days. You'll own the next 5. I'm pretty sure if you had all the others, that I think the next 5 champions you're gonna have all of those too, because there are some older champions, the CNE original champions that they're reworking. But Strongheart will then be poised to help you rock out the next season as well. Then get Entreus, get BBEG. But I would wait. Yeah, I would wait a little bit. I would wait until the new season starts to get Entreus and BBEG, honestly. Just get Strongheart and rock out season stuff this weekend. Yeah. I think that's the most efficient use of your time this weekend. Or until Wednesday. Wednesday, the new season starts. Yeah. And welcome back, yeah. I had to set a question here. They didn't put question : but we've got a little time. Oh, this one did. Oh, no. Another returning player question. Appalling. Hello, Paul. As a returning player, is there anything in particular I need to focus on doing getting ASAP? Again, check your emails for any newsletter that are still there and do that. Strongheart, if you've got some time gate pieces, pick up Strongheart, and if you then pick up these if you have these seasons, you might be able to get some season stuff done from this season. You got 4 days, but if you've got time over the next 4 days to spend doing that stuff, you get some cool rewards. And then just be ready for Wednesday. We get a new season and a new champion in Jang Sao, so event happens on Wednesday. Just followed your great guides and did split the party 1. Nice. Set up a gem farm, but it's not working great yet. It's not gonna. It will get better. Is there anything else I may have missed? Is there anything in the Fate Breaker stores I should grab as a priority? Oh, yeah. Make sure you're voting on your Fate Breaker stuff, folks. Vote every day. Pick stuff up. Here's your priority in the shop. You can go back to week 1 and buy stuff. And if you don't have these champions, you can pick up Whittle and a gold chest, Brother Uriah and a gold chest, Nahara and a gold chest. There's 3 champions just for 3 days of voting. And then you're going to take your reward tokens. You come down here and buy the Lantern Archon familiar. Get a familiar. So week 1 was the best bang for your votes. 3 votes, you get 3 champions and a familiar if you didn't own them already, right? Oh, and then, I would, Thalora gold chest, if you picked up Thalora. If you didn't, you pick it up anyway. 3 time gate pieces. I don't need them, but newer people returning and needing to pick up time gate pieces, absolutely. You need to pick up champions. Get your time gate pieces. Week 3, 3 more time gate pieces. A bunch more gold chests. If you can save up the votes, sure. Potion of polish. You want to spend 3 votes on this week to get that potion of polish. Week 4 reward shop. Meh. I know I bought everything, but for someone returning, these aren't super important. Oh, like these other things again. These three votes here to get the Archon familiar. Time gate piece. Time gate piece. That's your priority. Then 2 more here, and you can split it amongst whatever of these champions you want, so you can get that potion of polish. Any extra votes you have can go to more gold specific champion chests, or you can bank them. I recommend banking them until week 5 to see what week 5 has to offer. Yeah. But yeah, other than that, I mean, start rolling in and getting ready for the next season and the next event. Quasar Flame, do we know what the next season champions will be at? Yes, I'm about to just time gate, and I don't want to pick wrong. Do not time gate the new season champions. Do not. Do not. Because right now, they're not discounted. They're not discounted. B, in the past they've given some out at the start of the season. So, do not time gate the new season champions. That being said, what are they? Hold on, I'm gonna go get my list over here because I don't remember off the top of my head. Because one of them, I've known about them for a few months now. One of them changed for reasons. Where's? I got a recap. I keep a recap in my own Discord. Okay, Narak, which makes me happy because I use Narak DPS right now, and this means he's just getting better. Korth, Sisaspia, Warden, and everybody's favorite murder hobo, Zorbu. So, Narak, Korth, Sisaspia, Warden, Zorbu. These are all CNE original champions. They are all high dex champions, or at least Sisaspia wasn't. She will be. So those 5 champions are getting are going to be in the season. That doesn't mean all 5 are getting reworks. Like, I have a feeling Zorbu's probably fine. But what they've done usually is everybody gets a little bit better somehow. But a couple of these champions need some serious reworks. The others just need, some tweaks. And, one maybe just needs some feats. And that's the way these work. So yeah, it's going to be real interesting. Real interesting. When the next season hits. But don't time gate unless it's one of your free pickups. Unless it's one of, because again, this is a natural time gate weekend. If it's your free time gate, you can pick it up, sure, but don't pay for them right now. Head on Anonymous, email codes are particular to account, right? Well, you can only use 1 per account. You can't get 10 junk email addresses to get 10 chests on 1 account. Now, once you've used a newsletter code for a specific week, you can't use another newsletter code on the same account. Yeah. Any others? Okay. Fenor, do you have any advice or a guide on which champions to unlock first via time gates for new players? I have advice. Yes. I think currently the best way to prioritize, you have to think of it as if-then statements. I have a series of if-then statements. Anybody who is old school programming knows that old school programming, and even to a certain degree even now, it's just all if-then statements. So if this, then this. Okay? So here's how I prioritize my if-then statements. At the very top, do you have all the current season champions? If not, get them. Now, we only have 4 days left, so again, like I said, if you have a lot of time gate pieces, if you can grab all 15, if you have 15 time gate pieces, you grab them all, you could get some stuff done. Basic programming. Yeah, well, like I said, that's when I did most of my programming was in basic. Back 89, 90, 91. So start off. season champion, whatever the current season champions are, time gate, right? Because that's going to let you do the quests, and that's going to give you rewards. And what do you get from the rewards? Time gate pieces, time gate pieces, time gate pieces, time gate pieces. They basically give you the time gate pieces back. Okay. So, start off with the season champions. The next after that, next priority, Strongheart. Strongheart, slot 11. Like I said earlier, Strongheart makes you doing all your season stuff go faster. He doesn't have to be in your active party. He can be in a background party. Because in this season, Strix was in the part, and next he needed to be in an active party. So Strongheart will work in a background party. So Strongheart next. After that, I think what you need to do is start then looking at what do you need to split the party. Split the party is a specific adventure that earns you multiple parties. And you need to start off, you need 2 champions in every bench slot. And you're going to have to see which bench seats need a second champion. And then there's a split the party 2 with 3 champions in every bench seat. And then split the party 3 with 4. These are things you have to step up and keep paying attention to. But you want to focus on getting 2 in every bench seat first. And then when you're making those decisions, one of the things you want to look at is, do you want speed champions or pushing champions? A lot of people are leaning, and myself included, are leaning towards recommending speed champions early on because they have enough power to get you through early game just fine. But they also make it go faster. 2 top speed champions in the game. Briv in slot 5. Here. And Human in 8. Here. Human is definitely a human and not 3 kobolds in a trench coat. But there's a lot of speed champions, and picking up those speed champions basically are going to help you progress faster, knock out adventures and variants faster, and thus earn gems faster, thus buy gold chests faster, thus get gear faster. It starts this nice snowball early on. So yeah, things like that. And then that's usually like you're deciding, like, I think speed champions for your second champion. And then the third one is usually then the pushing champions. And after that, you start looking into what you need for variants and yeah. Oh, this is a good time to remember. Okay. That was it, folks. There's one last question here. Lurking Rider reminds me, hey, are you looking forward to playing D&D later today? I am. Hey, this show is going to be ending shortly, folks. I don't even remember what song we're going out on. Oops. It's a song from Bardic Inspiration. But more importantly, later today, normally I say, hey, join me in an hour-ish and while I play Baldur's Gate 3 over on my channel, but that's not happening today. Sorry, folks. Because instead, I am playing D&D for charity. And not 1, but 2 games, starting at 2 p.m. Pacifically speaking, so 3 hours from now, I'll be over at Twitch TV/Dungeon Scrawlers. Dungeon Scrawlers. Hold on. Let me get that link in chat. Here it is. Here. Let's go follow that now. Twitch TV/Dungeon Scrawlers. I'll be in 2 D&D one-shots in a row. 2 D&D one-shots in a row. One's going to start at 2 p.m. Pacifically speaking. And I believe... Oh, no. Which one's first? This is what happens when there's two in a row. Okay. First one up is going to be Dungeon Mastered by Keith Amon, who is the author behind the blog and the books Monsters Know What They're Doing, and others. He's going to be DMing us through a one-shot called that is referred to as the Second Breakfast Club in a Monster Hit. So the one shot is called the Monster Hit, and the group we are playing as is the Second Breakfast Club, which should give you a clue that we're halflings, folks. So second Breakfast Club joined me with wonderful people. Lauren's going to be there. Lauren Urban from here. I'm playing Lauren twice tonight. Lauren and I are both at least doing 2 D&D shows today. And then right after that, or an hour after that one ends, that goes from 2 to 6. So that's going to be a 4-hour block. There's going to be about an hour break. And then from 7 p.m. Pacifically speaking until 10, Dungeon Master Trevor, the person that writes the stories here in Idle Champions. Trevor's going to be DMing us in a Spelljammer one-shot, my first ever Spelljammer one-shot called Infinities on the Go, which is a run on his the games that he does about Infinities. It's going to be interesting. So I'm playing a halfling for the first time. Pre-generated character. I'm going to make it my own. And then in the second game, I think I'm bringing Bandy back. I played Bandy for the Extra Life. This is an Extra Life charity stream last year. Bandy is my dwarven finger waggler, morally neutral dwarven finger waggler, so he fits into a variety of scenarios. So come watch me play as Bandy. Yeah. And raise money for Extra Life, which is always a good thing to do. And that's going to be all, folks. But hey, if you do like hanging out with me and you have other questions about Idle Champions, I stream Idle Champions Mondays and Wednesdays on my channel, twitch.tv/Gaarawarr. It's spelled as it sounds, but it's spelled that right down there. You can follow me, or you can just click on my name right there in chat and hit the follow button. We do that Mondays and Wednesdays, and then when I stream on other days, it's Baldur's Gate 3. We're playing a Dark Urge playthrough, thematically styled. My character is a monk called John Wick, who is leading into his dark urges. I'm styling it as a prequel to the movies. This is before he got married, when he was real dark. Yeah. Oh yes, so Bandy. Bandy stands for breaking and entering. B and E, because his name is what he does for a living. And no, he's not carrying Swordle. I thought about bringing Swordle in, but I was like, I don't know if Trevor wants to deal with the shenaniganry that is Swordle the Bard, my permanently animated dancing sword. That's a bard. And a short one shot. Because Swordle just breaks things. So yeah. Good times, folks. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Again, Wednesday is going to be a big day. New event, Jang Sao, with a new champion. You can check out the spotlight on the Codename Entertainment blog on their website. And a new season. Season 6 starts. I will see you then. Bye, everybody.
This one's for the dungeon masters, weaving stories each week anew. Scheduling can be a disaster, but they always pull us through. We raise our glass to you with heartfelt cheers, even though you brought us tears. You guided us through thick and thin for many days and many years. This one's for the NPCs, both prepared and on the fly. Denizens of the world we share, to both love and terrorize. Will our heroes live or will they die? We'll just have to improvise. Tell us to roll and give it a try, then it's time to throw the dice. 3 cheers for the dungeon masters, for giving us their all. 3 cheers for the story crafters. Please join us in our cause. This one's for the mighty monsters, the demons and the gods. The fireballs and lightning bolts, cast from staves, wands and rods. You're the master of the rules. it's